You know what? My daughter and I have been planning a trip to Hawaii, and I was wondering if he'd like to come along, said Brooklyn, my mother-in-law. That sounds amazing. The three of us will have such a great time together, I replied excitedly. Later, my mother-in-law and daughter-in-law casually chatted about their vacation plans. My frustration boiled over. Are you kidding me? I thought. A trip to Hawaii? If they have the money for that, they should be focusing on paying off their debt first. I'm Brooklyn, a 28-year-old office worker. I married my husband, Clifford, 3 years ago. Life with him has been wonderful. He's thoughtful and kind. The years passed quickly, filled with happiness. Brooklyn, welcome home. We're having fried chicken tonight, and there's cold beer in the fridge, Clifford said with a grin. Yay, I cheered. Since we both work, Clifford willingly helps with household chores, which I appreciate. I truly believed our happy days would continue, but things changed when Clifford brought up a request. I'm thinking of sending some money to my mom, he said hesitantly. Why? Your mother has your sister, and on top of that, she has inheritance money, I responded, puzzled. Your father recently passed away, but he was a high-ranking executive at a major company. Surely he had a generous retirement fund and left behind a significant inheritance. Your sister is still single and works for a big firm, so I doubt they're struggling financially, I reasoned. Actually, she's in serious debt, Clifford admitted. What do you mean? I asked, concerned. She co-signed a loan for a close friend. She doesn't want my sister, who still lives with her, to stress about it, so she's kept it a secret. That means we're the only ones she can turn to, he explained. But what about the inheritance? Didn't your father leave her anything? I pressed. She used it all: hospital fees, medical expenses, funeral costs, and paying off old debts. But it still wasn't enough, Clifford explained. She really owes that much? I asked in disbelief. That's why she's so anxious all the time, he sighed. We're not exactly well off either. We both work at small companies, I pointed out. I know, but we can manage if we cut back and save, Clifford suggested. I felt completely blindsided. My peaceful marriage suddenly felt shaken. I didn't want our lives to become difficult, but I also couldn't ignore the kindness my mother-in-law had always shown me. She had been so warm and caring since I joined the family. Maybe that's why she trusted her friend enough to co-sign. After a lot of thought, I decided to help. From that moment on, I started saving every penny. I watched what I spent on food, cut out my hobbies, and stopped taking weekend trips with Clifford. I no longer went out with friends or attended social gatherings. I used to love going for drinks, but now I avoided those events altogether. My colleagues noticed and asked what was wrong, but I couldn't admit it was due to family debt. Instead, I told them I had a liver condition and had to stop drinking. We were supposed to send her $2,000 a month, $1,000 from Clifford, and $1,000 from me. On top of rent, bills, and other expenses, it was a huge burden. The pressure kept growing. Then one day, I had a heated argument with Clifford. I'm home, he called out as he walked in. Huh? Welcome back, I replied. Wait a second. Did you go to the hairdresser? He asked. Yeah, it had been a while, I admitted. What? Seriously? I told you to save. Nobody cares about your hair. You're married. Stop trying to look attractive in some weird way, he snapped. Excuse me? Grooming is part of social etiquette, and I'm not trying to look attractive for anyone. Don't talk as if I'm no longer seen as a woman, I retorted angrily. Oh, so even though you're married, you still want to be seen as desirable? Are you cheating on me? Clifford accused. What? That's insane. Don't make ridiculous accusations, I shouted. This seems suspicious. I bet you're making more money than you claim and secretly spending it on other guys, he continued. That's a horrible thing to say. I've been working so hard to save. I cried, deeply hurt. I pulled out my pay stub from the drawer and shoved it in front of him. Look, I took money from my paycheck to send to your mom and still managed to afford a haircut. I don't deserve these accusations when you don't even understand the situation, I exclaimed. Oh, I see. I'm sorry, Clifford muttered, guilt washing over him. Even though he apologized, the fight shook me. We had never argued before, and I suddenly realized how fragile our marriage was. One major disagreement, and we could have fallen apart. The root of the problem was clear: the financial strain from supporting his mom. So I made a decision. I would talk to my mother-in-law directly and ask to lower the amount we sent her. I knew Clifford would never agree if I told him in advance. He'd insist we had to keep helping. That's why I had to do this alone. If things went wrong, my mother-in-law might resent me, and Clifford might feel betrayed. But if I wanted to protect our marriage, I had no choice. If she understood, then eventually Clifford would too. I called ahead and arranged to visit her after work. "Brooklyn, it's been a while." "Come in," she greeted warmly. "Sorry to drop by unannounced," I said as I stepped inside. "Brooklyn, how have you been?" my mother-in-law asked. "It's been a while, Gabriella," I replied. "I'm doing okay. I knew you were coming, so I went to the department store and bought a cake," she said cheerfully. "What?" I blurted out, surprised. "I'll make some tea. Let's enjoy it together," she continued, completely unaware of the reason for my visit. I couldn't believe my eyes. "You're the one receiving money from us, yet you went and bought a fancy cake from a department store. We rarely even treat ourselves like this." Oblivious to my inner turmoil, Gabriella cheerfully brewed tea, clearly in a great mood. Watching her act so carefree only fueled my frustration. Then, as if things weren't bad enough, she casually placed the cake in front of me and said something unbelievable. "My daughter and I have been planning a trip to Hawaii. Oh, Brooklyn, would you like to come with us?" I was completely caught off guard. "That sounds wonderful. Just the three of us having a fun trip together." "Clifford can stay back and house sit," I replied, doing my best to keep my composure. My sister-in-law chimed in. "Yeah, no worries. He's not a fan of hot weather anyway." As their conversation drifted back to their vacation plans, my irritation reached its peak. "You've got to be kidding me, Gabriella. A trip to Hawaii?" I blurted out. She finally noticed my tense expression. "What's the matter?" "What do you think Clifford and I go through every single day?" I demanded, unable to hold back my frustration. "Go through? What are you talking about?" Gabriella asked, looking genuinely confused. "If you have the money to take a vacation, then shouldn't you be using it to pay off your debt first?" I shot back. "What debt?" my sister-in-law asked, looking just as puzzled. "I struggle every single day just to send you money." My voice trembled with emotion. Gabriella looked stunned. "You sent me money?" "Yes. The other day, I finally went to the hairdresser for the first time in months, using what little I had left, and Clifford, and I got into a huge fight over it," I admitted, tears welling in my eyes. She and my sister-in-law exchanged confused glances. "I honestly have no idea what you're talking about," my sister-in-law said slowly. "What do you mean?" Gabriella asked, her confusion deepening. "Clifford told me that you were in serious debt and needed help, so we've been sending you $2,000 a month, $1,000 from each of us," I revealed. Gabriella's expression darkened and she suddenly raised her voice. "What? I never heard anything about that." I felt my stomach drop. "Do what?" "I mean, I don't have any debt," she exclaimed. "If I did, there's no way I even think about going on vacation." I froze, the realization dawning on me. Something was terribly wrong. Both Gabriella and my sister-in-law seemed to piece it together at the same time. Their expressions turned ice cold. "What the hell is he up to?" Gabriella muttered, anger brewing in her voice. I instinctively reached for my phone to call Clifford, but my sister-in-law stopped me. "Let's find out exactly why he lied before confronting him," she said firmly. "For now, stop sending him money," she advised. "Okay," I agreed, still trying to process everything. I followed her advice. The next time Clifford asked, "Why haven't you sent the money yet?" "Mom's struggling," I answered calmly. "I don't have cash on hand, so I'll just take it to her myself later." Panic flickered across his face. "And no, that's okay. I'll take it to her," he stammered. After that, he never brought it up again. Following my sister-in-law's suggestion, we hired a professional to investigate Clifford's actions. The results were worse than I could have ever imagined. He had been cheating on me for over a year, even while dealing with his father's passing. When my mother-in-law and sister-in-law found out, they were furious. We called Clifford to Gabriella's house. As he walked in, he looked around confused. "Hey, what's going on? Why is Brooklyn here too?" "You said this was about me, Mom," he said, clueless. "I asked her to be here because she's involved in this too," Gabriella said coldly. "How dare you cheat on Brooklyn while putting her through so much stress?" she demanded. He scoffed. What are you talking about? There's no use pretending anymore, I said, throwing the evidence onto the table. His face turned pale. This is, he stammered. It looks like you lied about me having debt and took Brooklyn's money. Tell me, did you use it to spoil your mistress? My sister-in-law asked, disgust clear in her voice. No, that's not true, he panicked. And yet you got mad at me for going to the hairdresser while you were out spending money on another woman. That's beyond disgusting, I added, my voice shaking with anger. I'm sorry. It was just a moment of weakness. He tried to excuse himself. You don't get to brush off a year-long affair as a mistake, I snapped. You'll pay back every single penny I gave you, and I'm divorcing you. On top of that, I'm demanding alimony. He let out a pathetic whimper. You think you can just get away with this? You're no longer my son, Gabriella declared, her voice cold as ice. We're cutting you off completely. Never show your face here again. Overcome with fear, Clifford bolted from the house. After that, my sister-in-law introduced me to an excellent lawyer. The divorce was finalized smoothly. Not only did I receive a significant amount in alimony, but Clifford and his mistress were also ordered to compensate me for the financial losses I suffered. Clifford ended up completely broke. Word of his affair spread at work, leading to a demotion and a pay cut. Unsurprisingly, his mistress dumped him the moment he ran out of money. Serves him right. As for me, getting my money back lifted a huge burden. With my savings habit already in place, I've been able to set aside a substantial amount each month. I still stay in touch with my mother-in-law and sister-in-law, and we're planning a real trip to Hawaii. This time, one I can actually enjoy. Looking back, Clifford was truly a pathetic excuse for a husband. Lying, cheating, and stealing from his own family. He deserved even worse. Honestly, with such an amazing mother and sister, how did he turn out so rotten? Anyway, I'm just relieved to have reclaimed what was mine. I hope you have a fantastic time on your Hawaii trip. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our channel. See you next time.